would you agree that, it's time that we all wake up and take responsibility, even for our ancestors that did not know any better?
Been waiting patiently to have this kind of conversation. Well, it's Wake Up with KC. I'm Kimberly. And, this episode, I want to talk about, some of us are still don't even know what our passion is, what we want to do. And I know during this pandemic, I had tried to reinvent myself. But what about the younger, generation? And, we're with the limited beliefs and the mental programmings of, you got to go to school, get good grades, get a good job, do this, be this way and whatnot, getting out of that and then discovering your own unique gifts and what you're passionate about. And today I have a very interesting and beautiful being, Joshua. Welcome, Joshua.
Oh, thanks for having me, Kimberly.
Well, I got inspired when Stephen mentioned about you, and you're 25.
That's correct. It's 25 young, like as he would mention it.
Yeah, 25 young. Okay, then I'm 35 young.
It's an optimistic way of seeing it, right? I just adopted it as just what he's saying to me now. 25 young.
So with your story, can you just share with us, your upbringing and, what you thought you should be doing and going through that process, and then your, I guess, self-realization, or what inspired you to be doing what you're pursuing now?
Okay, so I came from a medical background, doing my degree of kinesiology. I wanted to become a physical therapist, and I just followed what my parents said. They said, do this, get the job, the 9 to 5, you're helping people. That's the only upside of it. That I love to help people. I mean, I can do this all the time, and I'm getting paid for it, and I just said, okay, I'll do it. As I was going through the schooling, I saw these students really have this epiphany, this sort of this realization of, like, they wake up and really believe that the human body and the biomechanics and everything about it, it revolves around them, and they love it so much. And as I reflected on that, seeing them really act in this sort of manner, I don't think I actually feel the same. This isn't for me. I don't really like it that much, other than the side of helping people. But I just said, okay, I got to find something else. I got to finish my degree and everything. I got it. And I just saw deeply, what can I give to the world in an art form that is still something I can be passionate for, and that I can sleep on and say that I want to do this for the rest of my life. And that medium, I really saw acting. It has to be that. It has to be acting. I quickly signed up for the following year to a theater school, and went through the process of name, headshots, and then all that age, whatever. And there was a recommendation letter part, yeah. And of course, I had no background whatsoever of any of that. Never touched it in high school either. I mean, I was in the marching band, but other than that, performing arts was something that I didn't see myself really have a career behind. But I was fine with the idea that physical therapy, it's a career, helping people and so and forth. But that reliving that feeling again, of performing for someone and giving them that connection, was something I wanted to try. And when I was looking at this recommendation letter part, I just took a document. I just said, I don't have a recommendation letter. I submitted it. I mean, normally people would just submit a blank one, but I don't know what it was. And then less than 24 hours later, the school calls me saying, hey, you want to come in for an interview? Like, we want to know more about you. Like, well, how could you? I don't know what it was. It was so brazen, and the audacity behind it that they saw that. Maybe this guy's really curious. And you hear it all the time, right? You just got to try. And that's what I've been doing ever since for the last 4 years. This acting, I've done so many scenes, so many plays in my schooling, and it's just amazing experiences. It's something I really want to pursue. And I already said it, but you just have to try, and that's when you'll know where your passion will reside. It's amazing.
Wow. And I mean, I didn't know what I was passionate about until I was in my 40s, and I went back to school, and I thought I was going to be in radio, but then I got a bit in taste of film editing, and I was like, wow, because I love the art. So I'm like, well, I could create this in an art form. I'm creating a masterpiece. I'm putting pieces of video clips together, and voila, there you go. So I fell in love with that. So I get that. Like when you try something, and being intuitive, I look for signs, the synchronicities of, the right people showing up, the right information it's like keys and clues to guide you along the path so you can reach that passion and have that experience. And it's part of your purpose. It's a small piece of the purpose of, what you came here to do. Would that be safe to say that is true?
Yes. All of everything I've been doing up to this point is being geared towards to be the actor I want in the next few years. And it's just, how can I wake up every day to be better myself into that aspect? I eat healthy, go to the gym, always pursuing online of what can I do to perform myself, such as Steve the publicist. I got him recently. Get an agency, get a manager, get all the rudimentary skills behind it and resources to really get to where I'm at. And I've always lived through that in my life, that if I have a task that needs to be done, always 100% and always finish it. Don't juggle so many things. Because it's not going to be all completed in their own manner, and it's going to be all sort of half dozen, and it's not going to come out well. It needs to be 100% each time. We have to have the meekness and forbearance behind that to be able to give it our all. And that's what I did for my physical therapy. I saw it in myself that I didn't like it, and I could see otherwise, because I didn't, unlike other people, they already have the thinking behind that. Oh, I'm not going to like it, but you haven't even tried. So I have the backing behind that to even say that I really didn't like it. And that's why I'm going to be doing theater and all that sorts behind that. Yeah.
Wow. And I tell my kids, well, how would you know unless you try?
Mm-hmm.
And what I speak about in, with other guests and whatnot. And I just come across this. It's like, how are you supposed to know any difference of anything unless you experience it first to know it? We all have gone through experiences, and then we decide, that wasn't a good experience. Don't want to do that again, or wow, that was really good. I want to continue that. So that's what life is just an experience, and then figure out what, you like to do, what you're passionate about doing it, and just go with it. And to me, it seems like things just flow. Things come together, not in the timing that we want it, but eventually it comes to us to guide us and just lead us into another opportunity, another experience.
Exactly.
Would you agree?
I agree totally. Everything takes time. There's time for everything. I haven't realized that outcome too, that it's not going to be immediate. And I've accepted that. People always want this. They want it so fast. I know nowadays it's not like that. Only in the rarest occasions, so little. But I'm not going to gamble for that. That is a far cry for my goal that I want. And even it's going to be muddled in the future if I try to rush it, because it won't be as stable that I want it to be. And just the idea that everything is geared towards what I want to be doing every time. Even I've learned so much, be enlightening that my schooling has given me the confidence to be able to make decisions and the wrong decisions. And what I'm saying is I welcome adverse and auspicious experiences so I can know and learn from the future that if I want to, like what you just said, I'd like to experience again or not. I welcome all of it and I accept the outcomes behind it. And all experiences to me, I need them, you know.
Yeah, to know the difference, to know better, to, gain wisdom and knowledge. That's what, life is truly about. And I find it really fascinating. Like some people haven't learned yet, and as a collective, I feel like we're repeating history. It's like we're living in Groundhog's Day, like that movie with Bill Murray. And so we wake up and I'm like, guys, come on, wake up now. Let's get off this, that spin wheel like the hamster.
That the lifestyle of that, I can't really. It's too stagnant for me. I'm always pursuing something new. I need to find new knowledge, It's just that's what I always strive for, and it benefits me too at the same time as an actor because I can know behind it that how would this person be like at this moment in time, or when I create the characters in the circumstances that I play. It's fun. How can I live a million lives but still attain one? It has to be acting.
So what was your hardest experience growing up?
My hardest experience was, if I could generalize it in a way, I need to have this, we all have this understanding that we need to be pleasing someone and this validation for someone. I learned that I guess this is what life is about. I gotta go through all the schooling. I do listen to my parents at time to time. But when it comes to something that I want to be happening to do forever, there has to be some leeway behind that, some leniency that maybe I don't want to be doing. Of course, even at my age now, I have the right to make my decisions as an adult. And at that point too, it's that the sense of, I've always been fighting with like even people on a day-to-day that I need to have this validation for them. I need to have this validation. But all in all, it's at the end of the day, what is that? Does that really sort of pay the bills? Does it really make me happy? Does it really help me sleep at night? I've learned through the years that I don't really need that. Unless it's beneficial in my understanding towards my career, which most of the time in all of my encounters is never even is, just by saying, oh, I'm going to be, this one person said, this is just an example, like, oh, your car is dirty today. Why don't you wash it? And then I would do it. And all that energy expended on that sort of could have been put into elsewhere, like reading the plays I have been reading, or even going to the gym, or even that energy is wasted on just trying to please someone. And it's that I've grown out of that over the years, and I'm really glad that even through this schooling alone has really taught me more than just how to become an actor, how to be a human being in this planet.
Oh wow! Well, thank you for sharing that, because I think somebody, would take that as valuable information. Like, wow, you got a point there. And that's why I started the show, is to help people think outside the box, take a look, around and, cycles, patterns, maybe the limited beliefs, mental programmings, even emotional energetic traumas that we don't realize that's keeping us from, becoming the best version of ourselves so we can live our best life now. And since you mentioned about schooling and whatnot, what teacher did you connect with the most that helped you and supported you?
I didn't have a teacher in mind, but I could say my high school years is the definite turning points. College years, you're in this understanding of pursuing the career you already want. So a lot of the connections are very quick, and there's no sentimental value behind it. And that's really when you start to grow up. When I'm saying in high school, from what I can remember, I had the most times that I could find memorable was through my band career when I used to play the percussions, and it's the connection I had with them at the time. As I'm recalling it, it's something unprecedented that I could really feel during just my normal subject classes. It was the hardships behind it, behind how we would have to wake up around 7, we had to go and get the practices done, and even the stakes of performance day was only one time. Hey, you have to perform your very best after all the rehearsals, and if you mess up at that moment, it's really bad, of course. And that's why I went to even theater school. It's under that impression that you get all these rehearsal times, you get one performance. It has to be amazing. It has to be, or else you're doing a disservice to yourself and the character and the audience. Like, why, you know? And through my high school years, I felt it hadn't triggered yet until I started finishing college that those were the connections and feelings I had already been sought for. And I should have been transferred that into my college years, but we were so systemized in our understanding that schooling, the career, get married, just like it's this pressure behind that everyone needs to follow everyone. And it goes back to even what I'm just saying earlier, that we need to be pleasing someone in this lifetime, or else that's not the way of living. But that's the complete opposite. Even our society has really made us really toxic about Instagram and Facebook, and we need to have these likes, have these so and so, and just it's so impeding. And I do have an Instagram myself, but it's just a portfolio to say, oh, this is me. This is what I do. I do my modeling stuff on there. And I just hate the idea that I need that now as a necessary thing. I don't use it for me. I use it for my career. So I'm glad on that part. So,
Same here in Facebook and Instagram, just to, put people on there, bring positivity. But that's about it. I can't be on Facebook. I don't like being on a computer all day long. It's just, we're so desynthesized and disconnected to electronic device. Even with my phone, after a certain time, man, I'm like phone down unless it's a 911. I have to get away from it. Even like TV. It's just so, your brain is downloading so much information. A lot of people are, I feel, getting confused because they're getting so much information they can't discern what is being actually told or spoken of truth to be where you can actually resonate with the truth. Does that make sense? Would you agree on that?
Exactly. It's funny. I can't really commit to a show anymore. It's how do I say this? I get bored. I honestly do. So I do the counterintuitive thing. I get a book to read nowadays. Like when I'm watching something like even a 2-hour movie, I can't do it. I have to pause within an hour, and then I gotta read a book. Really sort of something knowledge worthy or poetry. Just it's so relieving to me. I don't know. That's just me personally. I don't know about everyone else, and I'm kind of glad it works out that way instead of, oh, I'm bored of this book, I'm gonna go binge this show. It's just, I feel like, how can I further grow myself as a person on the day to day? And that's what I always am pursuing. Is I have to be better every time I wake up in the morning, because we only have a limited lifespan in this world, and I have to make the best out of it. And also pleasing people, I don't need that. I gotta please myself,
Well, not only that, it's not just pleasing yourself, but taking care of yourself. How can you take care of anybody else if you're not taking care of yourself?
Yes, it's true. Very true. I do agree that also. How can you help other people too? I'm open. I'm not. Don't get me wrong. It's not that I don't like helping people. I need to help myself first before I can help people. I mean, if I'm already damaged, how can I help another damaged human being? It doesn't make any sense. You have to be able to have a sensible consciousness of all your decisions and say, this is wrong, this is right. You can't always be ambivalent about being gray. Like, oh, I don't know. Like, oh, ask him. it's never beneficial to anyone in general to not be helping yourself, right?
Yeah, or you're always putting yourself last.
Mm.
And then that causes other issues.
Oh, exactly. For yourself, most of the time. I guess you're sort of a floor mat for more people that. Yeah, but why would you like that, right?
So when did you discover that, hey, I'm like, I feel like I'm a people pleaser, and how do I fix this? What was that moment when you realized that, and what did you do? What was the steps you took to get out of that habit or that programming that you found yourself in?
So it was when I finished my schooling, and just signing up to my theater school. I just needed this new. I didn't know what it was. I was still at the time very repressed, and I closed off a lot of my confidence back then. But I just felt like I needed this. I was more subconsciously at the time. More of a hard task taker. I take the hardest thing, and I gotta try it. And even in my theater school, we have people say like, oh, our teachers we have scenes to be doing, and he would say, oh, who wants to go first? That the stage fright was still within me at the time, but I knew my good side of me still told me that I'm gonna go first. I'm gonna go do the monologue first. I'm gonna go first because usually when people do go first in my school, it sets the ground of how the understanding of what the other ones would be like, and it's just all this mind games at the end at that point. But just the idea that you need to be pushing yourself and throw yourself in danger and accept the outcomes in that is something I really truly admire in a lot of people if they can do the exact same thing as me. And it's a real changing point that if you could face your fears in the most stoic way possible, the gallant way possible, you really further grow yourself as a human being.
Well, would you agree that, I mean, all fear really is false evidence appearing real in a lot of cases?
Sorry?
Fear is false evidence appearing real in a lot of cases. We create it in our mind.
Mm-hmm. I even learned too that once you give yourself permission that to be feared of something, you already diminish all the possibilities that could go beyond that. You must be able to condition saying, I can do this. I can finish the job. I can do that. You have to be the affirmative thought behind that needs to be there. Because if it's not there, then everything else will be a slippery slope beyond that. By saying otherwise, by saying, oh, I can't do it, then you're not going to be able to do it. Oh, I can't do that, then you won't be able to do that. You need to have the confidence too. There's a healthy amount of confidence that you need for all the tasks at hand. And that's what I've been doing every day. I can do it.
Well, yeah. And you know what? There's something else that, words are very powerful. And I've heard, think before you speak, pause for a moment, don't react, do not react, but respond in a way that's not hurting yourself and not hurting somebody else. And then it's like, I think I can do this. I might need some help or gain skills, but I think if I can work something out, I think I can do it. Just even saying that instead of, I can't do it. And I believe a lot of we make excuses not to, just to stay in our safe, comfort zone.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it's like now it's time, like we got to get out of our comfort zone and start actually helping each other by connecting and just having intellectual conversations and getting just like we're having here today. looking at things in a different perspective in order to help each other. More positivity, more, just spreading that positive energy and speaking good things instead of always complaining and, the world's coming to an end and this and that. And it's just, yeah, I'm looking for more balance.
Well, it's always me, the same thing. I'm always looking for balance too. But that's an ideal world. It's not going to happen. That's why you want to get something done right, do it yourself. And it's funny that you mentioned too, people out of their comfort zone. It's a comfort zone. That's why it's that, and they're too familiar with that. If you're able to come out of that, that's when you begin to grow, and that's when you begin to experience new experiences. And it's just, why wouldn't you want to try that? Wouldn't you want to be growing as a person? I mean, I'd love to have the best in you too, of course, and the best for me. Why wouldn't we want to be able to have this adventure, this journey across our lives, that there is more things than just being in that comfort zone? And well, I can only speak so much for anyone at my point of view saying that. And it is only then up to them to make that choice and that decision.
Right, and realizing, like, if I stay in this comfort zone, I'm never going to get out of this situation, or I'm never going to get out of this job, that I really don't like, or out of this relationship, or whatever it is. And it's, people love staying in, that fear, comfort place, but they don't realize that that's what's truly holding them back.
Exactly. I don't mind it too if they really like that, but there has to be some point that the option is still there, that I was in that too. There's more to it. There's nothing. The outcomes aren't even as horrible as you make them out to be. The fear of the unknown is something for humans that people can comprehend. We like to have always calculated knowing, and that's why we could actually get through the day-to-day that way. This will happen, this will happen, this will happen. But then through all my activities I've ever done, I've learned it because I didn't know. And I mean, that's how we even were born into these lives. We didn't know what to expect from it, and that's how we began to grow. But now we're so conditioned to suppress it so much that, this is okay, I like this way is all right, this it's astonishing. But if anyone exactly.
So what upcoming projects do you have coming up?
So for me, I do have a runway. I do modeling on the side. It's going to be this week. Yeah, and it's going to be exciting. It's going to be in Los Angeles, like Exposition Park. If you want to come watch me walk, sure, why not? But I'm mainly towards acting. I was emailing you about this callback thing, and I said yes, I'm available for these times, but incredibly unprofessional. It fell through. I don't know. I didn't get anything back. They didn't come back to me saying otherwise, like if they wanted to get fitted, or today was supposed to be shooting, but nothing happened. Nothing fruition of that. But as with the business too, I'm going to expect a lot of rejection. It's fine. I accept that decision. I know a lot. It's a very hard business. I know you hear it all the time, right? And you just have to have the knowledge that you will get rejected.
Yeah, you're going to get through 999 no's before you get to the one yes.
Exactly, yeah. What differentiates that people see, wow, if they can do it, then I can do it. They haven't really seen all the value of the time put in that there was. I don't mention all the hundreds or whatever rejections until like the one role. You know what I'm saying? That's what these actors do also. They mention the one they got accepted, but they don't mention, why would they want to mention all the thousands or what have you of the rejection they got? They don't know, because as an outsider, for some people who are not in this, they see like, wow, So easy for them. So lucky. It's not. It's not lucky. It's hard work behind it, as everything else. Right.
And not giving up.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I mean, I know I'm from the 80s, and Julia Roberts, even Tom Cruise, oh my gosh, Johnny Depp, who else? Sandra Bullock. Some of these, before they got successful, were working at pizza deliveries,
Exactly.
bartending and things like that before they got successful.
Mm-hmm.
We just put them on a pedestal. They're just human beings too. They worked their butts off to get to where they are now.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah. We
And
only
they
see.
get a bigger paycheck than we do.
Yeah. Yeah. We only see them the good things that they have done. I mean, we never look at the bad things for some reason. I mean, or the less favorable thing, not bad things.
The struggle. Like, how did they struggle to get to the point? Now because they kept going, they kept practicing, they kept trying to, go to casting calls and auditions, and still be in the present moment of working a, part-time, full-time job or whatnot, because they knew they had a vision of what they wanted to become, what they wanted to do, and what they wanted to have. The reward will pay off. They planted the seed. You got to nurture it, got to water it, send it, give it love. And in time, something beautiful grows out of it, like yourself.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Takes time for everything and work for everything.
And I think we've just been programmed to, it's like going to a McDonald's drive-through. Bam, there you go. That's not how successful people's mindsets work. If you want to be successful, you got to learn from other people that are successful. Learn even all the struggles that they went through. And then what they did to overcome it. What did they do differently? And I'm sure that you looked up to other, actors and whatnot. You wanted to pick their brains. Like, how did you do this? And what did you do about this? And some of them, if you're really honest and you're passionate about what you want to do, if you go to them, send them an email or, whatever, they'll be more than happy to give you something to help you. Knowledge is very powerful, but then you got to apply it. Then it's like unfreaking believable.
Exactly. It's very true.
And I just wish you the best in your next endeavors and whatnot. It's besides modeling, acting, do you play music?
Yes, I play the piano.
Ooh, you play the piano.
Yes, I do. In my free time.
Very impressive. And I'm pretty sure you've heard of BTS.
Yes, I do. BTS. Are you then?
Because you're in acting and part of the arts, I find them so creative. And not only, I mean, they're performers, they're singers, they're dancers, but they're also a form of artist by creating the scene. They can have 5 different scenarios and scenes to one song in a music video. It's same song, different, 5 videos, same song, but their props, everything is totally different. Even their costumes. To me, it's like looking at, these Michael Jacksons and taking the art into a whole nother way in music. Would you agree with that?
I do agree. I appreciate their work. It takes hard work to be portraying what they want today, and it's amazing stuff that they do. I admire that also. All music artists, portrait artists, photographers, all the sorts. It's amazing. It's amendable. It's like it's such a rarity to have. When you come from a 9-to-5 job, you need that relaxation, and that's one of them. Amazing.
Well, it's not a 9-to-5 job. It could be a 10, 17-hour job.
Yeah. I'm so modest to believe in 9 to 5.
But that goes because we're always like seeing the masterpiece of a music video, seeing a masterpiece of a movie. But we don't really acknowledge, like, wow, that must have took some hard work, because you got to line up locations, timing, getting everybody together and whatnot. And if people could look at that in a different perspective, and say, wow, that took some, hard work. I wonder, that's pretty amazing. How do they do all of that to be able to create such a masterpiece? And I love their music videos.
It's amazing. So it's incredibly creative. It's ingenious.
Do you possibly want to pursue like being in a music video?
If the time comes, I don't really have an option at this point in time when I'm pursuing an acting career. I must take all the opportunities, of course. And I love to be it's just fun. What's wrong with that? I mean, at the end of it, I need to be having fun, right? And also pursuing the art form that it is.
And enjoy just being in the now and enjoy your life and make the best of it.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, thank you. I'm truly grateful for this opportunity to be in your presence. And I've learned a few things too today. So if I do believe I put in the description of how someone wants to reach out to you for, possibly more work for you. And I just, wow, I'm impressed. You're a wonderful and amazing being, and I wish you the best of success in doing what you're pursuing and your passion.
Thank you. I try to be the best.
Hey, all you could do is just be the greatest expression of yourself. Be your true, authentic self.
Yes, it's so rare nowadays. Even coming from LA, everyone has this mask on that they put on in public. Everyone's an actor in LA. I just choose to pursue it in a different way.
And we're not talking about the mask because of COVID, right?
Yes. Oh man, I almost forgot about that.
That was good, Joshua. That was good. He's not talking about the COVID mask, is he? Well, hey, before we wrap it up, how are things in LA?
Mask mandates are back up again. So sadly, because of the variant or what's everything else is still open, but hopefully worse.
Okay. Well, be safe. Take care.
You too. You too, of course.
And thank you for joining us. Well, there you go. Another amazing interview with a inspiring actor who's pursuing his passion and living his best life now. Stay tuned for more great interviews and great guests right here on Wake Up with KC.
Do you agree that, it's time that we all wake up and take responsibility, even for our ancestors that did not know any better?
Been waiting patiently to have this kind of conversation.